Good morning. Yes. Who don't even actually know? It's been like a month and a half at least. I'm asking because any other fellow Las Vegans out there, you know how long it's been. Forget it. We got shut down the night, it was midnight on St. Patrick's Day. So it's like, how are you going to forget that? So, good morning. It is Thankful Thursday, and what a more appropriate day than to dive into our gratitude section programming content. Now, we've talked a lot about gratitude in the past, and now we're going to start really diving into the nuances and science behind it. So get ready. Gratitude is fun, and it's one of my favorite portions of, in case you guys have been following along, everything that I've been covering for the past month and a half on the Quarantine Network in the Rise and Shine programs have actually been excerpts from my 90-day package. So if you like what you've been seeing and learning and you'd like to have a deeper dive, definitely talk me about the 90-day package. It's called Becoming the Beacon. And it's where we go super deep. There's like 48 pre-recorded videos. So you've got over 50 hours worth of pre-recorded content, 12 hours of one-on-one throughout the 3 months, and a bunch of other bonus content as well. You get a workbook that comes with it. So it's really, really great. Anywho, so this is one of my favorite sections in the entire package because it is so, so important. So important, in fact, that when I created the 4 biggest keys to falling in love with yourself, which is available for purchase. Normally it's $97. You can get it for $25 on sale now. Just message me. I'll send you the link. Good morning, Steve. And that's just a crash course DIY self-guided course. And I took the 4 most impactful sections from my 12-week course, and I put it together in a way that you can kind of guide yourself through and get a really big impact for, doing it yourself. And gratitude is one of the big, big, big key factors. Good morning, Richie. Thanks for being here. Gratitude, I mean, it's cheesy as all hell, but adopting an attitude of gratitude really will change your entire life. And it's like that concept you've heard me talk about before, where my mentor says, I'm thrilled this is happening because, where everything is happening for you, not to you. Because we're not put here to suffer. Although there are the 2 psychologies of thought of, it's a Japanese saying. It's basically trial by fire and then learning through growth. And pleasurable growth. And yes, there are different schools of psychology on, whether life is pain and it's struggle. It's all a choice. And if you have the choice, why would you choose to be unhappy? We're pleasure-seeking creatures. We are either seeking to avoid pain and therefore achieve pleasure, or more than likely, we're seeking out pleasure. So in keeping up with that, if we are consciously recognizing and appreciating and showing appreciation for the things that we already have, the people we already have, and the things and people we are going to have in our lives, that is simply just going to generate a higher vibration. What do I mean by that? Earlier in the week, we've been talking about raising your vibration, and the feelings of love is the highest vibration of all. For those of you just tuning in, every single thing, living and non-living, organic and inorganic, has a vibration. It has been measured by science. Think of scientists hooking up things, people, animals with electrodes and measuring their frequencies. And when they are injected with different pheromones and hormones that create different feelings, like dopamine, a feel-good hormone, or I think it's oxytocin, the love hormone, with these sorts of things, or when people are hooked up with electrodes and they're being told to think of somebody that they love, or this and that. The vibrational frequencies, the airwaves, if you think about it like radio stations, they're higher, means they vibrate faster. So everything has a certain frequency to it. And when you surround yourself with things of a higher frequency, or things that evoke a higher frequency response in you, such as things that you enjoy, pleasurable environments, people who you enjoy being around, those vibrations, they start vibrating faster, thus raising your collective vibration. There's a thing called, I read about recently, I want to say it's called quorum communication. And it's kind of a similar thing. It's mostly found in bacterium and when you're talking about like bioluminescence and stuff. Yes. Been reading about that stuff lately. It's interesting. I've actually been reading up on animal communication is where I've been getting this. But quorum communication is where basically a bunch of cells communicate with each other and they emit these chemical responses saying, I am this and I am here. And when enough other similar cells emit the same response, they form together, and that's where bioluminescence happens, where you see like glowworms, fireflies, anglerfish, that kind of thing. Well, it's not far off of how pleasure centers and being around things that evoke pleasure and happiness, raising your vibration happens. You bring in these extra frequencies and it's like quorum sensing. Hey, this feels good. This also feels good. Hey, let's come together. Now it's exponential and now more things are feeling good. And it's like temperature heating up a room, right? It's raising that vibration. And like I say, I've been saying this for years, positivity is just as contagious as negativity. It simply has a higher boiling temperature, right? Just raising that vibration, raising that temperature, getting it up there. So when you are practicing gratitude, you are actively and consciously raising your vibration. So when you can wake up first thing in the morning and say, thank you, another day. Look at your dog or significant other sleeping next to you or on the floor and say, thank you for being here, and have genuine feelings of true love evoking towards that other creature. Good morning, Christina. That raises your vibration immediately. And when you start having these feelings of genuine gratitude, genuine love, as soon as your eyeballs open, or even before your eyeballs open, but your body's awake, that's how you start your day on the right foot. That's how you start your day with arms wide open, ready and available to be receiving of good things. That's how you set in motion and become lucky and continue to be lucky and luckier and more lucky. By calling these things in, because you're actively raising your vibration. And it's that law of attraction or quorum sensing. If you think law of attraction is too woo-woo, let's go with quorum sensing. It's more scientific and it's just a cool name. Like attracts like, or raising the temperature. The quorum sensing, coming together, this love thing and this happy thing and this thing coming together like magnets and just whoop, making it stronger. Like, have you ever played around? I remember growing up as a kid, we had a bunch of magnets, and they were literally just the magnets. They weren't like, I don't know if maybe they were purchased this way or they were deconstructed magnets, but I remember my grandparents had just the little cylinder magnets. So for those of you who might not know what I'm talking about, if you look at the magnets that you have on your fridge, those little circular things that are what the actual magnet is. So yeah, I don't know if somebody just deconstructed and took those apart or whatnot, but it was probably a stack about this big, and they're all maybe a couple millimeters high. And I remember just playing with those all the time as a kid. And, if you have the two opposite sides, the magnets would come together, positive and negative. They'd come together real fast. But if you had the same size, it was this really cool like force field, and you would try to force them together and you couldn't. And if you did successfully pinch them, they would immediately like splay out opposite sides, like they wouldn't stay together. So you can think about it as magnets coming together if you want, but those are opposites. So be careful if you use that analogy, because we're talking about things coming together, quorum sensing, similar things, happy things, positive vibrations. They don't have to be the same exact thing, but of the similar vibration. Yes, they were super strong. Yeah, you're right. They don't make them. That could attribute to maybe some of our in our older but wiser days now, right? They were fun. Yeah, we would play with those things all the time. But yeah, so maybe they did make them. Maybe I'm not just being weird. Because I mean, I had two older cousins, so either they deconstructed them or they were bought like that. But it would make more sense being that they were my grandparents. Those magnets were probably bought in the 50s, and they probably were just like that, right? They didn't need all the kitschy Atlanta peach and what else do I have up here? Well, actually, they're kind of basic, but like headphones and stuff. Like, yeah. Anywho, point is, whether you call it law of attraction, quorum sensing, to give it a more scientific term, however you choose to look at it, when you are practicing gratitude, when you are being thankful, and it's not just listing, and sometimes it is though. Sometimes you gotta. I abhor the term fake it till you make it. I have never, ever been okay with being disingenuous about anything. And so I'm not going to back up fake it till you make it. I am, however, going to support the notion of going through the motions. Because even if you are in the lowest of the lows, the deepest of the trenches, and you're looking around going, I'm having a really difficult time feeling grateful. I've been there. I have been parasuicidal. And if you're not familiar with that term, parasuicidal, the difference between parasuicidal and suicidal is parasuicidal is the contemplation of, not the actual taking action to. I've been there. I get you. Sometimes it's really, really, really difficult to look around and say, even I'm grateful to have another day, especially when you don't want to have another day. So you got to go through the motions. I'm not saying fake it, but I am saying go through the motions. Write it down. I'm grateful for this candy bar. I'm grateful for that friend that just reached out. If you got to scroll through your cell phone, and even if it was a conversation from a week ago, find something to be excited about. So we're running the spectrum. Good morning, Christopher. So we're really taking it. I mean, I woke up this morning and I was just full of it, full of just love and gratitude and just happiness and a whole bunch of stuff. But gosh, that was 2003 when I was low, lowest of the lows. And I've had lows since, but I've never been back to contemplating not being here, low. So yeah, 2003, 17 years ago, I was that dark. So I'm not trying to get dark here, but I am putting it out there to let you know that, hey, I can relate. And it's not about faking it till you make it, because it's disingenuous. And let's be honest, it's crap. You know, when you are genuinely having a crappy day, the last thing you want is somebody throwing rainbows and sunshine out of their ass at you. Like, no. So I'm not going to tell you to fake it till you make it, but I am going to tell you, go through the motions. Start wherever you're at, start where you're at. There's no right or wrong place to start from. You know, the ancient Buddhist? No, I think Chinese. There's an ancient saying that says the best time to plant a tree, well, that was 1,000 years ago. Kind of missed the boat on that one. But hey, you weren't even here 1,000 years ago. So the next best time to plant a tree is right now. So start where you're at. Don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 11. It's simply that. It's not a comparison. It cannot compare because it's not the same thing. It's apples to oranges, right? It's chapter 1 to chapter 11. And it's a totally different book. Your chapter 11 might look completely different from my chapter 11. So start where you're at. You know, Mary Poppins, start at the beginning. A very good place to start. Was that Mary Poppins? I know it was Julie Andrews. No, it wasn't Mary Poppins. It was Sound of Music. All right. I have got to take my little tea thing out. 1 second. Really excited. I got my new brain tea from my physical therapy, and I finally get to use my little deep tea diver. It's so cute. Look at this. It's a little scuba diver full of tea. I've been like looking at this, wanting to drink it. So I just had to get his little platform so he doesn't tea all over the place. Pun intended. There. Sip. Richie, only in the classroom collecting dust. Oh, those old magnets, right? Yeah, along with the old chalkboard, right? So anyway, Thankful Thursday. So we're about to like super dive into the science of gratitude. I know I threw a couple of nerdy terms at you already, but let's get into Thankful Thursday. So for those of you who are watching, type in, what are you grateful for today? What are you, and another way to phrase this is, what is something you're excited about? Because being excited about something is something that you can be grateful for. You're grateful for this new thing that's happening or about to happen that you're excited about. And that's the next level of gratitude, is when you can start being excited about the future, being grateful for something that has yet to occur. Because that is how you start manifesting. But we'll start where you're at, right? So tell me, Christina, tell me, Richie, tell me, Christopher, who else is watching? Tell me what you guys are grateful for today. Steven, what are you guys grateful for today? I guess I'll announce it here, so you guys are the first to hear the official announcement. I am grateful that today is the day that I can announce this. So just leave you hanging at that. Like, that's my grateful. No, I'll tell you. I am grateful that being April 30th is the day that I can officially put in my 60 days notice to move out, not just out of my apartment here in Henderson, Las Vegas, Nevada, but to move out of Nevada. I've been here for 5.5 years, and I never wanted to be here. It's given me so much, and I'm so grateful for everything that it's given me, but I have wanted to leave, and I have missed New York so much. And I am so grateful that I get to officially put in my 60 days notice, because that's what my apartment requires, is 60 days. And I am moving back to Long Island June 30th. Yay! So cheers. I've got so many things I'm grateful for, but that is the top of my first thing that I thought about when I woke up this morning. Love in my heart. So tell me what you guys are grateful for. And notice how gratitude just can lead into celebration. And I highly recommend, thank you, Christina. I highly, highly recommend finding something to celebrate all throughout your day, every day. Because celebration leads to happiness, leads to raising your vibration, which leads to other things coming in that are naturally attracted to higher vibration, right? And let's be honest, if you're celebrating, you're happy. And it's nice to be happy. So find things. And here's the other thing. Just like Christina said, congrats, girl. Yes, support each other. This jealousy thing? Nah. Jealousy is that trigger that reminds you, what is it that I need to see out of this? Remember, the world is your mirror. And when you get triggered, whether it's jealous, anger, fear, stuff like that, the lower vibrational emotions, when you get triggered, you naturally pull back. You pull away from somebody or something. If you're afraid of them, if you are jealous, if you are nervous, like it's a pullback reaction. And it's that human ability, because we have a higher consciousness, to be able to lean in. And it's not necessarily to lean into them, but to lean into you. All right, I got triggered. I leaned back. Lean to me. Why? What is that saying for me? And when you can lean into that, you can open up a world of what's available to you. Perfect example. My mentor, like I've been tossing, I go in and out of wanting to move back to New York all the time. And my mentor was doing a live video a couple weeks ago. And she was like, yeah, I'm moving. And I was like, bitch, it's the middle of a pandemic. How irresponsible of you. And I noticed she was doing it totally responsibly. Her and her husband were packing everything themselves. The movers were wearing masks and foot booties and everything, and they were giving them the distance. Like they had everything prepared. Like they were doing everything properly. And I'm just like, oh, you got triggered. Get back in there. And I realized I was jealous. And jealousy is an opportunity. Remember, we talked about opportunities to choose king or queen. Jealousy is an opportunity to choose queen and king. And first off, I had to put my crown back on and say, congratulations, because I know this is something you wanted. And when you can congratulate somebody and genuinely feel happy for them, you raise your own vibration automatically because you're being happy for them. And look, her happiness has nothing to do with my happiness. So why should I make me feel unhappy? Community. We are communal creatures, even though we're in isolation. And I know that's why a lot of us are having difficulty. As human beings, we are communal creatures. I know there's a lot of you out there who are introverts going, speak for yourself. Look, I'm a healthy mixture of both. By nature, we need each other. We are the only creature. Okay, we're not the only creature because there's a couple other species out there, but we are one of the only creatures that cannot survive on our own from birth. We cannot walk. We cannot feed ourselves. We are completely dependent. We are communal creatures. Now, sorry, I had a puppy lick my foot and then just kind of derailed. Hi, baby. I know. So when we can celebrate each other in community, we are raising the collective vibration. And that's why when I say like, it's important to be around other people who raise your vibration, that's what I mean. It's important to be around people who support you, who love you, who care about you. Yes, absolutely. But it's also important to be around people who have the same kind of mindset as you. Not so much the hive mind as it is the mindset of whatever direction it is that you're going towards in life, whether it's a niche direction or just a broad sense of support. Because it's that quorum sensing, right? It's that law of attraction. It's that I'm feeling great. Awesome, you're feeling great. Tell me about it. Like, be the candle. Light, my candle's not lit today. Light my candle. Remember I said that quote yesterday. A candle loses nothing by lighting another candle. And just as one candle can light 1,000 candles, one heart can light 1,000 hearts. You don't lose anything by celebrating in someone else's successes. In fact, you gain. So if you catch yourself feeling jealousy, lean in and find out why. And maybe if it's a little bit difficult for you to lean in, try being happy for the other person first. And for some of us, especially depending on who that person is, it can be a big leap. I get it. Then take the step of, that's amazing, congratulations, and follow that. So I followed that and realized, you know what, that's my opportunity. And then I made the decision. And I was like, how is this going to happen? I don't have my regular source of income. I am rebuilding my coaching business, which is great. And, I'm in the middle of quarantine. I'm not paying my rent right now, let alone other bills. So how could I possibly pay rent for a new place, let alone in New York, which is way more expensive? And I just felt my energy, my vibration just going, and I was like, no, queen, put my crown back on, queen, gonna do this. And I looked at it and I said, well, you know what? My apartment's letting people out of their leases early. And I'm technically in a 15-month lease, so I'm stuck in this until the end of May 2021. This is a good opportunity to go. And I'll give you the short of the long story here. So I said, all right, gonna go. And I didn't make the full decision, kind of made that like indentation, like cheap scissors into a piece of paper where it kind of doesn't cut, it just bends it. And then I realized, I told my friends, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna come. They're like, great, when? I was like, yeah, I don't know. Sometime I'll figure it out. And that's when I realized I didn't make that incision. I just made the indentation. I was like, no, I have to do this. And, I just read a quote this morning that perfectly sums it up, where we are, I want to do it justice. 1 second. It's from Jen Sincero. It says, so often we pretend we've made a decision when what we've really done is signed up to try until it gets too uncomfortable. So we find ourselves like, okay, I can do all these little things. I can prepare and do all these little things until I have to pull the trigger. And then, you know what? If I don't have to pull the trigger, I didn't lose out on anything. Yeah, and you also didn't take strides towards your goal. So it doesn't count. And that's exactly what decisions are. So now when I've chosen to make a decision, you'll notice in the formula that I put on the live the other day, I wrote decision, D-cision, because that is the reminder to me to cut, because the Latin base of decision is to cut away. And to cut away, to decide, means to cut away other options, other choices. So it's like pulling the plug. So by me finally being able, I made the decision a week ago, but today is the action that actually cuts the floor out. Like there's no going back. Like I put in my 60 days notice. I can't be like, I'm sorry. Can I extend my lease? And I don't want to anyway. So this is like the action that all the other research and how much do I have to put down for this and that and da. No. So when you make the decision, everything falls into place. When you stay in that high vibration and you stay amongst a community that supports you, such as this here at the Quarantine Network, amazing. And by the way, another shout out to Bo for putting this all together. And Christina Marie, you might not know of, but she's one of our behind the scenes people too. Amazing, super hard worker. So thank you for all that you do. And I see your comments and your gratitude, and I'm so going to get to those, I promise. But it's so good morning, Patrice. When you make that decision, when you have gratitude and you surround yourself with other people of that, that quorum sensing, those other people of high vibration. So I'm in my mentor community and I'm communicating and I'm having coffee dates with my high vibrational friends that we've made a commitment to each other that every time we get together and we're in this Facebook community, it's all high vibrational stuff. And it's not fake or feigned. If we're not feeling it, we just don't go on there. Or sometimes if we need a boost, we go on there. And that's like what you guys do with the quarantine network. If you need a boost, you go on there and here's my people. Here's this thread. I can follow that, right? So you stay in that high vibration. You find a mentor who supports you and can keep you accountable and keep you on that track, keep you in that mentality. That's what I do as a life coach, as a mentor. I keep people on that mentality to keep them in that higher vibration so that they can achieve their goals. It's not just about woo-woo stuff. And I told you there's science to this stuff, and we will get to that, I promise. So I made the decision, and then I committed, and I kept my people engaged and involved, and I said, okay, I've decided it's going to be this day. Awesome. Where are you going to go? Hold, please. So I start looking on Zillow, and I'm like, okay, what am I currently paying in rent now? What am I going to pay then? What job am I going to have when I'm out there? And how much money am I going to make? Those are the questions, right? Okay. Okay. I've done this job search before. And let me tell you, places in Long Island, places in New York, they're older. They're not as modern as places in Vegas. And it's seasonal over there. They don't have pools and hot tubs and luxury resort amenities like they do out here. I'm very, very, very spoiled. And you get that yes, I'm going to go. Oh, it doesn't have this. It doesn't have that. It doesn't have that. It doesn't have that. And you start to just kill that dream real fast. Maybe Vegas isn't so bad after all. No, it's not what I want. Refocus, reframe. So then I went in Fantasyland. Remember I talked about getting a bigger fishbowl? If not, go find that video. I decided, okay, no, Fantasyland, let's expand the brain. Let's do the workout. Let's expand it so there's room for other things to rush in. So I was like, okay, how about a 4-bedroom, 3-bath colonial house? In case you didn't know, I'm single and yeah, not a millionaire yet. So what good news is, turns out $1 million homes, mortgages are about, I don't know what the down payment is, but you can mortgage them for about $5-6 grand a month, which in the grand scheme of things, not as crazy expensive as I thought it was going to be. So that's a plus side. Anywho, so I'm doing the research and I come to find out, all right, my vibration's back up, right? I'm feeling better. I haven't put an end date on when these houses are going to come into my life, but this is cool. This is fun. All right, awesome, cool. Got it. All right, feeling better. Let's look at apartments. That vibration went back down because my selection on Zillow went from 100 different options to 4. And I didn't really like those 4 that were available. And I was like, no, I'm not going to play this game. I've done this game before. I don't like it. High vibration. This is happening. It's happening for me and it's going to happen. Awesome. I'm not going to be a victim of my circumstances anymore. I'm so grateful that I have all these tools that I've been practicing and teaching for other people. How can I tap into those? I'm going to create it. So I got out my journal and I said, I am so grateful for everything that I have. I'm so grateful for my friends. I'm so grateful for my community. I'm so grateful for my mentor. I'm so grateful for all of the tools that I've learned to be able to manifest and co-create with Source. I'm grateful for my connection with Source. All right, Source, let's do this. I'm going to have a guest house or casita. And those are not common in New York, let alone Long Island. I'm going to have compassionate landlords, and I'm going to have a great walkability city factor, and I'm going to be able to be able to not have to take my dogs out, especially in the winter. I'm going to be able to just open the door and they're going to be, oh my God, it exists. A couple weeks prior, I got this pang. Follow your intuition. As silly as it may be, follow it. I got this pang to reach out to one of my girlfriends. And it had been bugging me for a while and I just hadn't gotten around to it. So finally I reached out to her and I was just like, hey, how's it going? So we caught up. I was making dinner. Like it wasn't even a convenient time, but I was just like, I have got to reach out to this girl. Like I miss her. So we just had a conversation, caught up. Her and her kids moved out. She'd been living in her parents' guest house on their property. And they had just recently moved out. So as I'm journaling, I remember this conversation from like a week prior. Immediately put down my journal, pick up my phone. Brittany, I'm taking your guest house. I've decided, because I already told her, I'm moving to New York. I just don't know when. I'm like, okay, June 30th, I'm coming out there. I'm taking over your parents' guest house. And she's like, oh my God, that's amazing. Bad news, good news. I'm like, I'm not available for bad news. High vibration, right? Not available for it. She goes, my dad just took over my old guest house. Good news. My mom has a second guest house and the tenant is moving out within about 90 days. And she's got 2 pit bulls, AKA it's pet friendly. Don't worry about your dogs and your cat. This is manifesting, guys. Remember what I said? Decision plus faith plus forward motion equals universal momentum. That's how you manifest. And it's because of that gratitude. It's because of my connection with source, my faith that it was going to happen, my staying in that high vibration. And gratitude is what kept me in that high vibration. It's by connecting with my community, by reaching out to her and just having a conversation while making dinner and connecting. And that's how I found out that information. Subconscious stored it and was like, we're going to use this later. We're just going to put it back there. We're not sure how or when or why, but good to know. When she told me she moved out of her guest house, that information didn't go in there and be like, guest house, good to know. No, it was just like, oh, good for you. I know you wanted to move out. Amazing. Not in my conscious brain. And this is what happens when you use that formula. I got to patent that formula, guys. And so surrounding yourself with other people who keep the attitude of gratitude, who hold you accountable to your ambitions, your goals, what keeps you excited, keeping you in that space of gratitude, because keeping you excited, keeping you motivated, maintaining your level of gratitude is what will help keep you motivated. That is your daily source of motivation. Eye on the prize, right? Being grateful for what you have now and being grateful for what's to come. By maintaining my gratitude for my community and for my friendships and for my connection with source, they in turn reciprocated and gifted me with a place to stay. And guess what, guys? First off, like I said, guest houses, not easy to come by in New York, let alone this person has 2 of them, one of which is available for me. I don't have to do in New York. It's not just first in security. It's usually first, security, and last. This is a 2-bedroom house. Standalone, no more apartment, house with a fenced-in yard, with a cobblestone wall against the sidewalk with beautiful trees, and compassionate landlord, my friend's mom. And it's month to month. When you keep the faith, when you make a decision and you take steps to have that happen, you surround yourself with the community, you maintain your level of positivity don't go so far. That's topical, right? When you maintain your level of gratitude, because that's deeply ingrained, that brings it all together. And source will co-create with you to create your dreams and desires, and it will make it better than you imagined. Remember, you can't hold it too tightly because then you'll break it. You got to leave room, this or something better. I'm so excited. So that is my gratitude for the day. So me see, we will jump to the science of gratitude. This wants to, there we go. Richie says, I'm grateful for your guidance, thoughts, words, and actions. Great start. Thank you. Good luck to you in your new chapter. Oh, thank you so much. And I know you're referring to thoughts, words, and actions. Richie just purchased, he did a special customized package, and he got the crash course in 4 Biggest Keys to Falling in Love with Yourself, which again, if you're just tuning in, is an excerpt. I took 4 of the biggest keys from my 90-day program, which has 12 different sections to it. And I took 4 of the biggest sections and I put it in the 4 biggest keys to falling in love with yourself. And the first one of that is your thoughts, your words, and your actions. So I'm so glad that you like that. I'm so grateful that you like that. And it's so helpful. If you guys are curious or interested about that, send me a DM and I can give you more information about that. It's a quick, easy download, and that in and of itself is only $25 right now. If you're curious about that and you want to do a DIY crash course on your own. Christina says, I'm grateful for every human that makes TQN what it is. Contributors, spectators, followers, haters, program directors, creators, admins, and everyone. Oh, that's amazing. And yes, same here. And isn't it great when you share your gratitude? It's almost like Wild Blossom Beacon. It's like becoming a beacon, right? You put it out there and it's like, in a good way, moths to a flame, or we'll just say boats to a lighthouse. That's a better connotation. Because, good morning, Nancy. Because it's allowing other people to come in and rejoice with you, join in your celebration by putting it out there. And so my challenge to you guys today is everybody go post on your personal page. Actually, do this if you wouldn't mind. Post on your personal page and then tag me what you're grateful for today. And watch how people support you in that. And better yet, a couple spaces down, challenge others to comment below what they're grateful for and maybe even start their own thread. Let's spread this chain, because here's what happens. Not only do you gain support for what you're grateful for, and it reinforces your gratitude, and you'd be surprised. You post something that you're really excited about, and yeah, you get people that support you, but then you get some people that are just like, oh, I didn't want to do that. And it's just like, great, now you just killed my buzz. But when you go into it with the intention and the attitude of, I am just happy and I'm grateful and I'm not looking for support. I am just putting it out there because I am putting out love vibes. I am putting out happiness and I am being the beacon. When you put it out with that energy, you're not going to get a lot of naysayers, and you're going to actually attract more of a community. And that's how you see who your people are. That's how you see the people that are like a safe space to reach out to and are the ones that, hey, maybe for this goal that I've got, I can reach out to them. Or maybe, hey, that's someone that also has positive energy that I can have a conversation with about whatever. And just to keep that communal vibes high, that quorum sensing, that bringing together and keep raising those vibrations. Because the higher your vibration and the more sustained that you can keep that high vibration, the more good things are coming to you. Quorum sensing, law of attraction, whatever you want to call it, that's how success begets success. That's how luck begets luck, and things keep coming together. So Patrice and anyone else who's watching, Stephen, Nancy, type in the comments below and let me know what you are grateful for today so we can celebrate with you and support you and amplify that gratitude. All right. So I'm not going to bother with these quotes today because I think you get it. Plus I gave you some others. So as promised, let's get into some science of gratitude. Now I have got some benefits, and I think this is all I'm going to have time for, benefits and effects of gratitude and ingratitude. And this was put out by the Mayo Clinic. So in case you haven't heard of the Mayo Clinic, kind of well known and reputable in terms of science and health studies. And this, they've done a number of studies focusing on the benefits and the effects of gratitude. And then, of course, to be a valid scientific study, they also have to look at the converse of it. So, benefits of practicing gratitude, as if this was not an example enough, and your own personal experiences were not. For those cynics out there, as I promised, there was going to be science. And stay tuned for more episodes. I've got more coming for you, so don't you worry. Good morning, Jen. Thank you for being here. So the Mayo Clinic has proven benefits of gratitude include more and better relationships. People are more likely to seek ongoing relationships when they are appreciated, right? You put out that gratitude and people support you. You're like, oh, I like that you supported me. I like you. I'm going to spend more time with you. Well, hey, I like your energy. I'm going to support you. Like, that's kind of like a duh. Like, but it's not just about when you're practicing it outwardly. It's when you're practicing it inwardly too. When you're waking up every morning and you're writing in your gratitude journal, I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for that. Morning routine. When you're doing that, it shows on the outside. So like when you eat healthy, your skin glows. What you're doing on the inside shows on the outside. It's that kind of thing, energetically. Speaking of, gratitude benefits include improved physical health. People who practice gratitude regularly experience fewer aches and pains because you are not focusing on them and are more likely to exercise more. What you appreciate appreciates. And I actually looked into that, and I believe the person who coined that quote, not 100% sure on that, was a woman by the name of Lynn Twist. I did the research, I tried. So what you appreciate appreciates. So if you are focused on this, you're not focused on that. So for example, when I was going through my recovery process from my car accident, initially, I was focused on my brain activity, my memory, like, oh, this is not working so well. I wasn't even focused on the fact that my body was like, ow. I wasn't focused on it. So when you're focused on gratitude and all the things that you're appreciative of and you're happy about and you're excited for, you're not paying attention to the aches and pains that you've got going on. And when you're happy and when you're in a good mood, you're more likely to work out and exercise. And when you're doing that, that increases dopamine and other happy neurotransmitters and chemicals, which therefore, again, happiness begets happiness, success begets success, lucky begets lucky, right? It just perpetuates that and it amplifies it. So exercise will just cause the aches and pains to kind of go away because you're improving your physical condition. Another benefit of practicing gratitude, improved psychological health. Really? Because there's a reduction in toxic emotions because you're focusing on the things that are good and positive and happy. You're not wallowing in the negative of why hasn't he called and I don't have this and I don't have that, because gratitude is the exact opposite of that. Enhanced empathy. You're more likely to behave kindly despite others being unkind. That's a big one. When you can tap into your own gratitude, you're able to be more empathetic because you can kind of get that full circle appreciation of knowing, well, I wasn't always this happy. You got to start somewhere, right? Start where you're at. And I can understand, not being happy for $1 million in your bank account when you've only got -10, So, and I can understand that you're probably acting out, not because of this thing, but because you're, the Snickers thing. You're probably acting out because you're hungry, not because you're actually mad about this thing. Gratitude can increase that empathy. The pineal gland in your brain gets calcified. And the practice of gratitude, when it's releasing dopamine and oxytocin and serotonin, when it's releasing these neurotransmitters, they actually help. And the practice of meditation also does this. It actually helps decalcify the pineal gland. And the pineal gland is, among other things, it helps you increase your empathy for others. So it will naturally, scientifically, help you be able to tap into that. And of course, if you're able to up your empathy, you're going to be able to have better, improved relationships with others, romantic or otherwise. Of course, this leads into reduced aggression, decreased desire to retaliate, because you're empathetic, you get it. And plus, you got a good buzz on. You're feeling good. You are grateful for things. You don't want to kill that buzz by fighting. Yeah, it's a little hippie, but in my readings with animal communication, when you're looking at the law of natural selection, it dictates that, and this is universally true across all species, insects, animals, humans alike, that if aggression can be avoided, it will be, and it will be favored. So, for example, there's, actually, do I want to use an example? Let me think of a better one. Animals have developed ways to communicate their masculinity when it comes to mating, to show that they have the better quality genes in the deeper resonance of their voice and their utterings than just physically fighting. And so if they can avoid potentially getting wounded and injuring themselves, let alone potentially dying, they will. And so when the females mate with the elk that has the deeper belt or the bullfrog that has the lowest tone in their voice, they're going to automatically, that's when you get the mating calls and stuff, they're going to automatically mate with that, passing on the genes so that those qualities pass on. And so it's with natural and sexual selection. So when you have this higher vibration of gratitude and you're feeling good with this, you're less prone to aggression and retaliation. And that is favored amongst natural and sexual selection. Got a ton of other benefits here and effects of ungratefulness. So we will get to those tomorrow on Friday. So Patrice, thank you for submitting your grateful real quick. I'll read it real quick. Patrice is grateful for the extra time she has right now. Yes, I've been saying that since the beginning. Yeah, girl. Time to reconnect to people I love and to connect for the first time to people I never would have known. Most of all, time to reconnect to myself. Yes, yes, yes. I so support you in that. I so resonate with that. I've been saying that from the beginning. Yes. And if you are resonating with that, find ways to connect. I'm sure you're all doing it in your own ways. And if you would like to know other ways to do that, and you would like to find that mentor, find that support to help you keep accountable, to stay in that high vibration, to stay on track, to stay accountable with your goals and keep in that mind frame, to stay in that community. Because like I said, I've got my own mentor. Coaches have coaches, mentors have mentors, therapists have therapists, therapists have coaches. It's so important to stay in that mentality and that mindset and that frame, both in quarantine, especially in quarantine with everything that's going on, and outside of it, moving forward, achieving our goals and everything. And I'm so glad that you said that, Patrice. That was like the icing on the cake today. I so resonate with that. And if you resonate with that too and would like to know how to take this further and to go with it, send me a message and I am more than happy we can schedule a clarity call. We can talk about all the other ways that we can work together, or just give suggestions, whether you're working with me or not. That is what I do professionally. But whether we're working together or not, I am so happy to support you in achieving your goals, dreams, and being there for you in this time. Thank you guys so much for being here and for showing up, not just for me, but for you as well, because I know you got something out of this. I appreciate you guys so much. And as always, cough in your elbows, wash your hands, and stay home. Love you.